Why should someone join us, Saket? Why should they join SAFE?
I feel that very rarely do you get an opportunity to be a part of an organization which is fundamentally changing the way society functions. It's almost like being a part of the team of Galileo, being part of the team of the Wright brothers, which really changed the way society functions. And it's not every day you can do that, right? Today, if you're a part of a very large organization, it's very rare that you are working on something which will change things. Can you make money? Of course you can make money out there, right? Yeah. But it was not General Motor that came out with the right EV. It was Tesla, a small company where all the magic happened, right? If you think about, right, what created live streaming, it was not Time Warner. It was really Netflix, which is a tiny startup which wanted to be acquired by Blockbuster, but you know, now Blockbuster's gone bankrupt, while on the other side, you know, Netflix has become a very large company. So if you think about anything that has gone ahead and changed the world, it's very rare that you get an opportunity to be a part, because these companies are very few. It's not every day. It's almost like, you know, when Rolex was invented, you know, there used to be only watches which were in pockets.
Right.
Rolex invented the accurate wrist watch, and the rest is history. Louis Vuitton invented the bag with a flat top, so that it can be stacked on each other, and the rest is history. So how can you be a part of a story which fundamentally changes not only cybersecurity, but cyber? Not only cyber, but the society, because we're now living in a cyber society.
Right.
And that, I think, should be the number one reason why somebody should be excited to join us, because this can fundamentally change how we live, play, work, and learn.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to join us today?
I would say the one piece of advice for anybody who's joining us is only join us if you would like to be performing at 110% your capacity.
That's actually a very good thing to say, considering I work here. So that's actually amazing. All right. You say you're running a company with a culture of freedom and responsibility. Does that mean anyone here can do anything?
Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
You are an extremely talented woman who is a proud citizen of India. And does somebody come and tell you what you need to do while you're walking the street, while you're getting on an airplane, or while you're sitting at home? Are there rules very clearly defined of what you can and what you cannot do? Or is there freedom as a democracy if you want to start a new company, if you want to work at a place, you want to move from one city to the other, you are free to do that?
I am free to do that. There are no rules.
Yeah. So while there are no rules and you're independent to choose your profession, to choose who you want to be with, where you want to be with, what work do you want to do, but at the same time, there is also a framework where if you start going to the street and start abusing somebody, will that be okay?
No.
Definitely not okay.
Yeah,
so you have the freedom on one side of doing what you want to do and how you want to do. That's the magic of being in a democracy. But on the other side, there is a responsibility that you hold, not only yourself, but every single individual of this country accountable for, to say you want mutual respect. You will give respect, but you expect respect from somebody else also.
Right.
When you go to a public place, you can be doing anything, but it's expected as a responsibility that you don't loiter, you don't litter that place which is out there. So the point I'm trying to make there is, Payal, that in my mind is a great example. Now, again, people misuse it all the time, unfortunately, especially your big country with a lot of people. But that's premise of how I feel that yes, within SAFE, and if you again go through our short culture deck, you will see that you literally can do anything and everything, where you go to the point where you can take any number of vacations, you can start your day when you want, you can end your day when you want, you can be pretty much doing anything. However, that's aligned and needs to be aligned to the North Star of why you are in this organization. The North Star is the why. It is the vision, it is the mission of what we are driving towards. You can be traveling in any class of travel while you're traveling in an airplane. You can be booking any hotel you want. But while you do that, are you acting in the best interest of the company? And who looks at that? You yourself. That's
Right.
your judgment. And therefore, if you look at the kind of people that we hire, judgment becomes the top criteria, because in a culture of freedom and responsibility, the most important attribute that matters to any individual that we want to hire is judgment. Now you can always ask this question, hold on, does that not sound too abstract? How do you know that somebody has great judgment? Great judgment can further be codified into 3 dimensions. It starts with very high IQ. I am so glad to tell you, and I mean it when I say this on the record, that I'm one of the lesser smarter people in the team. The greatest fortune of my life is to be working with this incredibly talented set of people who are far smarter at what they do. And there are some places where I'm smarter than them,
Right.
but they're extremely sharp and extremely smart, and it's so much fun working with them. So judgment starts with great IQ. When you give great IQ enough context of what's going on, what's our North Star, why we are doing what we are doing, and that's why we have our weekly town halls, we have weekly updates on eStaff channel, we have so much data, all our Slack channels are open. That basically gives everybody that flavor of what's really going on in the company. So with high IQ, if you give enough data, if you give enough context in terms of what's going on, and then complement that with high EQ, that's great judgment. That's a recipe for great judgment. So we want that kind of people within the organization. And when you get people with very high IQ and very high EQ and equip them with the right context, you don't need rules. You don't need those, babysitting regulations which says you can do this or you cannot do that. You give them the freedom and you let them decide, as long as they are acting in the best interest of the company, where they are moving the company towards the mission and the vision that we are driving towards.